Hey, I just got back from watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and I thought, I'm just gonna talk about it on here because this channel is for talking, these boots are for walking. That wasn't funny. Don't laugh at that, you freak. We're doing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I watched it today, and it's been quite a few years since I've seen an Indiana Jones movie. And I love that I forgot that Lucasfilms and George Lucas was in Indiana Jones stuff as well. Not in, but operated with Indiana Jones stuff as well as Star Wars. So it just, you can see the inspiration, especially with John Williams doing the music. Oh my god. There was one scene in the beginning of the movie. I'm not doing spoilers. Want to clarify that. Spoilers will be at the end, unless I don't have any spoilers to talk about. But there was this one scene in the early part of the movie where music started playing, and I was like, that is John Williams. That feels like Star Wars. I want to see a spaceship fly over. But that was really cool. So I'm going to talk about this. I won't give specific spoilers, but I will give, like, brief overview stuff. So if you consider that spoilers, watch it, watch out, and then maybe watch the movie first. And then also, but before you go, hey, subscribe and like the video. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, I literally have a notepad that I wrote down everything, and one of the top notes was, music is very George Lucas-y. Because it is. I thought that was great. I will get into my first complaint. So you guys can see in the trailer that there is a few scenes with a de-aged Harrison Ford, where he plays like the younger Indiana in a flashback scene. The CGI isn't great, especially being that this was apparently the most expensive Indiana Jones movie to be made so far. I think $325 million went into this movie. So the de-aging CGI being that bad is a little... But aside from that, it wasn't like that bad. I feel like we look into CGI in movies as like the end-all be-all of, oh my god, this movie is doo-doo poop, when in reality, I feel like it's passable. You can see bad CGI and it doesn't just like get rid of like make the story ass, because it's just his face, and really it's only the intro, which the intro, oh my goodness, the intro to the movie is so good. No specifics, I just love how Indiana Jones is a classic throughout this whole franchise. I remember this back when I used to watch it when I was younger. I love how Indiana Jones constantly gets into situations where he's going to die and doesn't. Like, he's like the most unlucky lucky man alive. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Comment if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I love that so much. I think that's such a niche thing that those movies do specifically very well. Although, I feel like it might be done too much later in the movie. There's like a few situations where he gets into a situation that he should have died. Like, why isn't he? Like, they just kill him. Like, what is he? You're leaving him alive. What? And I think that is like one complaint, as well as the CGI. Very simple complaints, not that bad, but little niche nitpicks that I had to make when I was watching it. Also, you know the classic of Star Wars movies, the Wilhelm scream? Play the Wilhelm scream for the chat, for chat to have an example. Thank you, random person over there. Anyway, that was fun. I liked that. I thought it was really funny, but it didn't have it the way that I thought it would. I love recognizing sounds and like music tracks in movies, and the Wilhelm scream was slowed down. So when you watch the movie, keep an ear out. You might hear it. I'm not telling you where, I'm not telling you when, but you might hear it. As well as, I think it's pretty cool. I know that some media, as of recently, I think it was a big controversy in one of the Call of Duty games. They included Nazis but didn't add a swastika, because I assume for like some reason. So I like that they stuck to historically adding the swastika on the Nazis. I don't know if that's still a big nitpick, but I've heard people complain about it, like they don't include it in history anymore, they're trying to cover up history. They did it. It's fine. The movie was good, and I think they included it in a good way, because, you know, killing Nazis, that's kind of cool. I literally wrote down in my notes, if the whole movie is as good as the intro, it'll be peak. I wrote that mid-movie, because the intro was so good. Like, just the starting time, starting part of the movie was really, really good. And I'm not gonna lie, the movie sort of lived up to it. There's still the same Indiana Jones classic action that you always get, but I feel like it wasn't as amped up as the intro. But, you know, just like a YouTube video, you gotta hook us with the beginning, or we're gonna walk out of the theater. No, we're not. We spent like $30 to get in there. Theater prices are so bad. Something I thought was done pretty well, though, was the like story, the plot was established in the beginning of the movie really well. Like, his, like, the things that he has problems with in his life were established very well without adding monologue. It wasn't like a thing where someone sit down and be like, my name's Indiana Jones, I got a divorce, and also, I retired. it shows him go like it shows those things contextualized in actions instead of words, and I think that's pretty good, because when movies rely mainly on monologue dumps, they suck. Because I mean, one of the big things I hear people talk about movies is like monologues and like dialogue dumps are essentially just the stuff you have to wade through to get to the actual part of the movie you like. So I'm happy they didn't rely on that too much. I don't think there was any time where there was just talking for a long time, except for like twice ever. And you know what? That's pretty swag. I like that. Also, two scenes I'm going to reference. For those of you that have seen it, you'll get it. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'm not going to add any specifics, so you'll just look at it like, be like, what is he talking about? Horse chase scene. That was crazy. I liked it. I thought that was pretty swag. I liked the horse chase scene mainly because I think horses are pretty silly. Can we get a silly image of a horse on the screen? Thank you. Yes, horses are pretty silly, and I think that's pretty funny. So I liked having the horse in an actual good chase scene in the movie, as well as there was an underwater scene, and I think that was pretty swag as well. That was uptight. There was a reference to snakes, because you know how Indiana Jones, he's not a big fan of the snakes. Well, yeah, they referenced that again. I thought that was pretty neat. As well as bringing back old actors. I thought that was pretty cool. Not specifying who, because I'm not going to give you spoilers yet, you freaks. Wait till the end of the video. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. Overall, I think the movie was good. I could see where it has pitfalls. Although when I go on to the Rotten Tomatoes, it has the critics gave it a 68. An audience gave it an 88. I think the 88 is a more valid rating. 68, no, it's not that bad. I can see why you'd think it's bad, because it's not like, I don't know, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or Infinity War. Why'd I reference two Marvel things? That's a terrible reference for good movies. But anyway, it's not peak cinema, but I'm not saying it's a bad movie just because it isn't the greatest thing you've ever seen. And so I like it. I mean, the story was plotted out well. I don't think there were any really annoying characters. There was one girl that came kind of close to being an annoying character, but really it wasn't. Like, one of the big things I saw people complain about was in the trailer. There was a quote where they're like, I stole it, and then I stole it, and they're like, and then I stole it. That's capitalism. And everyone's like, oh my god, they're going to be making political commentary. They didn't. That one quote actually had more time in the trailer than the movie. In the movie, she says it and gets cut off halfway. So trust me, that part isn't a problem. Maybe they saw everyone like nitpick that one specific part of the trailer and were like, let's just like cut her off. Let's get that out of there, because they don't like that. Because the rest of the movie was really good. I think they did it well. And this is coming from someone who hasn't seen the Indiana Jones movies in years. So maybe in comparison to the old movies, it isn't as good. I mean, he's literally like 80 now. Harrison Ford is not in his peak. So it makes sense that he isn't like doing backflips and going crazy. I still think he did well with what he had, though. Also, the enemy, what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen. Not the enemy's actual name, but the actor's name. I love that guy. I don't know why this is not the first time he's played a Nazi. I swear. Has he played a Nazi before? I need someone fact check me on that in the comments. He does it well. It's scary how well he does it, but anyways, that's another thing. I think the enemy was pretty damn good. But anyways, it is time to get into the spoilers segment of this, which I didn't write down any notes for because I was getting people were commenting on me noting things in the theater, and I was like, okay, sorry, I'll memorize the rest. So anyways, spoiler alert time. Everyone run. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. But like the video and subscribe, but also go watch it and then come back. Unless you don't want to watch the movie, then watch this, because we'll talk about it right here for you guys. First spoiler, and this is actually the end of, I'm starting at the end of the movie, because I think there was a pretty cool scene. So, the whole movie is about looking for the Dial of Destiny. It's Archimedes' dial, and it supposedly, it can, like, predict weather patterns, and supposedly, with the correct math, it can take you back in time. Yes, an ancient Greek invented time travel, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I thought it was pretty neat how in the movie they literally get to go back in time, but one thing I think was a little confusing was at the very end when he was he was like, let me stay. Indiana Jones, he took a stray bullet, not a stray bullet, he got shot straight on, but he decided to stay back, and he was like, I'm gonna stay back in 210 BC. Don't bring me back. I want to stay here. I'm a historian. I like it. Well, I thought it was kind of weird because he argues it like 3 separate times, and on those 3 separate times, the girl, I forget her name, says no. It's like, no, you're gonna stay here, and then eventually she just knocks him out and brings him back to the present. It was kind of weird. It was like kind of pointless dialogue. I think that was a bit of a nitpick, but it pointless situation. I feel like it wasn't really necessary. And the other thing, oh my god, I said this in the beginning of the video. I swear there's like 8 times in the movie where he's held at gunpoint and they don't kill him. Dude, he like kicked the shit out of you. He just beat you up multiple times. He almost shot you. He also shot multiple of your men. Not really. He got one of them blown up and he drowned another one. Like, why are you not murdering this man? They keep him alive multiple times, and it's just plot convenience. His plot armor, he doesn't even need weapons with the plot armor that thick, but that was it's just such a goofy thing. But aside from that, I think that it was a really interesting movie. I also liked the boat scene. I talked about it earlier in the video. He goes down into the ocean to find the other half of the dial, or I guess the map to the other half of the dial, and there's eels, and the eels are pretty crazy. And then like their oxygen lines were getting cut, and they had to like swim to the surface. It was just overall pretty interesting. But yeah, it was nice. It's a pretty good scene. I liked it. I also think the flashback served a pretty good purpose, establishing the main villain as someone that he had met in his past. Because I feel like if they were to try and just incorporate some guy from a past movie into it, it wouldn't have worked. So I like that they just did a flashback and were like, this was an adventure he went on once, and he met this guy, and it was the only survivor, and now he wants to not really wants to murder him. He's just looking for the thing that he stole from him, like 40 years prior or 20 years prior. It takes place right as the astronauts launched, which I'm going to fact check what year that was. Okay, okay, 1969. Okay, so like 13 years prior. I knew that because I am a history genius. But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty neat movie. I liked it. I'd say it's worth a watch. I like that as well. One more thing. I'm sorry, this came to me just last second. I like that guns weren't used very often in the movie. I think that's a common thing with Indiana Jones, though. I know he doesn't use guns a lot, but I like how when a gun is used, it's very loud, because it's supposed to be kind of established, like, oh shit, someone is shooting a gun. But aside from that, yeah, now I'm done. Now I have finished my my rant about this movie. Aside from the nitpicks and the very, very obvious glaring issues like the plot armor and the bad CGI in the beginning, I think overall it was a pretty good movie. I recommend checking it out. Overall, I don't really have a rating system yet. In fact, I'm going to ask chat for this. Guys, how should I rate movies moving forward? Because I'm going to keep doing these. I did one for Transformers. I did one for Spider-Verse, and I want to keep doing these. So give me some ideas for how to rate these. I don't want to copy Moist Meter and do 100%, although I do kind of want to do percentages, because if I don't, I'll do like 10.5, which is just a percentage at that point. Or that's not it. That's past 10. Like 5.5, which is just 55. That's just a percentage at that point. But aside from that, I'm ranting. Let me know if you have any ideas, and I'll consider some of them. Thank you guys for being here for another wonderful video. Like it, maybe. Subscribe if you're cool, and stick around for more videos. I got some more coming soon. I got something about Minecraft coming out soon because I'm starting an SMP. So that's about it. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, and swag. What?